Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Golf Business Advocacy Angle, powered by the NGCOA Champions Circle. I'm Michael Williams, along with Ronnie Miles from the NGCOA, bringing you the latest in what's going on in the world of advocacy in the golf world. Ronnie, thanks so much for joining me. How are you doing today?
Good, Michael. How are you doing? Thanks
I'm
for
doing
some
great,
time
doing
with me
great.
today. Look forward to it. We got a busy,
Absolutely,
busy few
absolutely. And
minutes.
let's dive right in because we have a lot to talk about. One of the great days in golf is coming up. That's just National Golf Day, which is a day where we celebrate not only the game of golf, but the business of golf. And I know that you and NGCOA are going to be plenty busy with things to do that day. Give us a little rundown on what we can expect out of National Golf Day 2025.
Sure, Michael. Obviously, we're gonna feature our National Golf Day. We'll be talking more about it today as our program goes on. But to give you a little bit of background and history on it, the National Golf Day visiting the Capitol started back in 2008. So it's been going on a long time. The only time we didn't do it, of course, was following 9/11 and then the pandemic, where there were times that we weren't there. But so this year, I think this is our 14th year of visiting the Hill, presenting the golf industry, what we do to help individuals, their health benefits, the charitable contributions that the industry makes to the local communities, the state charities, as well as the national. We all know what the PGA Tour does, and so but there's a lot of contributions taking place across the country through golf, and of course it's a time for us to identify what we do for the overall economy, not just in the states that with our courses exist, but also nationally. So it's a great time for us to ensure that our members understand who we are as a business, as an entity, and that we do make a difference.
That's a great point that you made, Ronnie, because I remember the first national golf days when we were going up to the hill and talking to people, and I was one of those folks that went and talked to different elected officials about that. And we had to rely on our feeling about things. Well, we contribute a lot of money to golf, and we didn't have the numbers, but now we have a lot of numbers, and we know that there's some fairly big numbers that are associated with golf, both the number of people that play and the amount of money that the whole sport generates. And I think it's really important that you guys get up there and remind people of that and encourage those initiatives that help grow the game.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, and hopefully I'll see you there.
Oh, you will. Just come hell or high water, you'll expect me there. Say, God willing, the creek
Right.
don't rise, and a hundred
Yeah.
other river metaphors. I'll be there. And before we go to break and bring our guests in, I'd like to talk a little bit about what the NGCOA CEO, Jay Perron's been doing, because he went and sat in on a hearing that was really important to the game of golf. Talk a little bit about what he's done and what he's doing right now.
Well, I mean, he hasn't attended it yet. There is a hearing. He's been asked to sit on the testify at a hearing before the U.S. Senate's Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee. The issue that we're talking about is our daylight savings time. Do we stop the clock? Not stop the clock, but do we switch the clock or not switch the clock? As a matter of fact, the title of the hearing is "If I Could Turn Back Time, Should We Lock the Clock?" So again, it tells you that it's going to be an issue that the Senate will be talking about, the Commerce Committee. Joining Jay will be three other organizations that will also be identifying from their organizations what their positions is on the national, on daylight savings time or standard time. And there's a lot of movement in the states on that, and we are just in the process of analyzing the information that was recently the survey that the American Golf Industry Coalition released. So we're currently just analyzing that information now. And as soon as that information has been completed and Jay's testimony has been prepared, we'll share more with our community.
Outstanding. Well, it looks like there's a really exciting time, as always, coming up for golf. And you and Jay and the rest of the team at NGCOA are, of course, being leaders out front, blazing the trail for the rest of us to follow. So thank you so much for that. We're going to take a quick break right now. And when we come back, we'll talk to some people about National Golf Day who are going to be there, going to be instrumental in it. And Ronnie and I will have some questions for them on what they're doing, what the golf day means, and how perhaps others can participate in it. So with that, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with Golf Business Advocacy Angle. Stay with us. Welcome back to another issue of Golf Business Advocacy Angle. Michael Williams, Ronnie Miles with you. And as we said before, National Golf Day is coming up. It's a very, very special day for the business of golf, where not only do we get to learn about what's going on in golf, but more importantly, the people who are involved with it, our elected representatives, get to hear everything about the game from the people who make it go. And two of those people are joining us right now. Please welcome Chava McKeel, the Director of Government Affairs for the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, and Jay Perron, who's a principal at Prism Group. Chava, Jay, welcome to the show.
Hey.
Yes.
Thanks so much for having us, Michael and Ronnie. Appreciate it.
Okay, great. Well, Jay, I'll start with you. At first, I'd like to welcome you again. Thank you for participating and joining us today. But I would like to congratulate and thank you and your team at Prism for successfully having our bill, HR 1583, the PAR Act, filed this year. So this session of Congress was a great win for us. Obviously, during this podcast, we'll be talking more about this, but I did want to say thank you and job well done. And so Chava, again, I know you and Greg McLaughlin from the World Golf Foundation have been very busy making sure 2025 National Golf Day would be another successful and impactful event. So for our listeners, obviously, we want to talk to those who will be attending, and for those who can't join us this year, to learn a little bit about what goes on at National Golf Day. Could you share a little bit about what attendees can expect when they arrive at the hotel?
This year we are back at the Hilton, the DoubleTree Hilton that is in Crystal City. We're just about a 10-minute drive away from near the airport. So when our attendees arrive in Washington, they'll head over to the Hilton, and the National Golf Day activities kick off at 2:30 in the afternoon on Wednesday, April 30th. We will have a registration desk set up at the hotel that's just adjacent to where you go pick up your room key. And when you head over to the registration desk, you will sign in and you'll get your badge for the 3 days that we're together, and you'll pick up your merchandise, your hat, your t-shirt, your vest for the community service projects that are being held on Fridays. So there'll also be some swag there and a little gift, and you'll just check in there. But yeah, that kicks off the day on Wednesday, and then we'll go into a ballroom starting at 2:30, where we'll hear from a keynote speaker. And we're excited to have a keynote speaker this year. Jay, maybe you can remind us who that is.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Jay.
yeah. So we're gonna kick off with actually a good friend of mine. His name is Jake Sherman. He's one of the principals at Punchbowl News, which you may have seen if you all watch some of the national news agencies. He's a regular on a few of those shows, and he's going to give us sort of a perspective of what's going on in Washington, and how golf can play a role on impacting legislation that's happening in this Congress, and what the administration is doing as far as regulations. So should be an interesting sort of take from essentially an inside player in Washington politics.
That's great. Chava, with registration, is it opening for people who are arriving on Tuesday? Will it be open on Tuesday?
We actually don't have it open on Tuesday. Most people will be traveling in on Tuesday, so we'll just have registration desk open only on Wednesday starting at 8 a.m. and it'll be ready and available till 2:30
That's great.
p.m. Yeah. But we have a huge turnout this year, Ronnie, coming to National Golf Day. We may break records. I looked this morning, and we have 273 individuals signed up so far. And that breaks down to about 246 interested in going to the Hill on Lobby Day and talking to their members of Congress. We have about 190 right now signed up for the community service project. So registration closes on April 8th, and the hotel rooms are running out. So if you're undecided, you need to get off the fence and join us because the hotel's rooms are running out and you may have to stay at another location, but we still want you to come. So, yeah.
I know NGCOA, as you know right now, we have a record attendees this year. We're over 57 attendees, and all of our attendees at this time will be visiting the Hill. So again, 100% of our members will be joining the others, your rest of the community on the Hill on Thursday.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention too that after we're done listening to our keynote speaker on Wednesday, we will roll into some issues training. And I think Jay's going to talk here in a minute about more about the issues that we're talking about. But we've partnered with a firm called Soapbox Consulting. And we're in the process right now of working with them to line up all the congressional meetings. There'll be probably upwards of 250 meetings being held on May 1 on Capitol Hill. But to help prepare our delegation to have the best meetings possible, some of the lobbyists will record a webinar, and we will dive a little bit deeper into the issues on this webinar, and we'll record it about a week and a half ahead of National Golf Day. And we will push out the recording to this webinar to everyone that is going to be on the Hill on May 1. So there'll be time in advance of coming to Washington where you'll be able to study up a little bit on the issues. And then there'll be some time on site in the ballroom on the afternoon of the 30th to get a little bit of a refresher on those issues. You'll have time to meet with the individuals that you'll be going to your meetings with and kind of putting your little battle plan together for the day of those meetings. So it's all very exciting.
Yeah, it's a great time for opportunity for individuals to meet others from their state who they haven't had a chance to meet, and they're going to spend the whole day with them. So they'll enjoy that. Jay, talking about the issues, can you share with us what are the issues we're going to be taking to the Hill this year?
Well, I think we'll start with the issue that you already mentioned, Ronnie, which is the PAR Act. We got a great name for it this year. To remind everybody, it's related to golf, and that's HR 1583, the PAR Act, which removes golf from this crazy Section 144 that's been around since 1976, and it's an IRS code, and removing golf from that list allows us and ensures that we won't be excluded from any government benefits. Like, for instance, some of you may know of or heard of this opportunity zones, which is a bill that passed in 2017 that created tax incentives to redevelop certain areas of the country. And if golf was associated with any of those opportunity zones, they were not eligible for the tax credits. And that's unfortunate, and that's because Section 144 was included in that particular bill. We want to make sure in the future that if Section 144 is included in any piece of legislation, that golf has been stricken from that section. And I think the American Golf Industry Coalition sort of formed around the idea of getting golf removed from Section 144, because during the Hurricane Katrina disaster relief package that Congress passed, Section 144 was included in golf courses that were impacted by Hurricane Katrina in the Gulf Coast were not eligible for disaster relief, which was really harmful to owners and to the golfing community in that area post Katrina. We want to make sure that never occurs again. So we're going to be pushing really hard on the HR 1583 and hoping that it will be included in any tax legislation that might pass the Congress this year. We also have another bill that we've worked on in the past is the FIT Act. And that's been around for a long time, has a lot of co-sponsors in the last Congress. It was actually just introduced last week by Congressman Panetta, Congressman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania, Senators Chris Murphy and John Thune. We actually don't have the bill number yet. I was actually looking it up right before this podcast, and it hasn't been posted on the webs yet. So I can't provide you with the bill number, but that it allows you to use your HSA dollars for physical activity. And obviously golf is a physical activity. So if you want to use those HSA dollars to sort of, improve your game, while also getting some physical activity and making sure that you're staying healthy by participating in golf, that allows you to do so. So it's a great bill. Those are the two sort of tax related bills. Javier, do you want to talk a little bit about sort of the environmentals, the farm bill, or do you want to leave that to me as well?
Fine. Several years we have gone to lobby day talking about the importance of the farm bill. The farm bill is one of those must-pass bills and allows us an opportunity to help meet some of the needs that the golf industry has. We've been able in the past to work with Congress to recognize that turf grass is a specialty crop. Turf grass is the fourth largest crop in the United States, which is amazing. And we've gone to the Hill to make sure that turf grass, again, is recognized as a specialty crop, which then leads to more federal dollars towards turf grass research. So we've been able, once turf grass was recognized as a specialty crop, we were able then to go to through the appropriations process and find millions of dollars that went towards research to find the development of new turf grass varieties that would lead to varieties that use less inputs, are more drought tolerant. Those help that's very useful for the golf industry, but it's even beyond the golf industry. That goes to public parks and municipalities and those varieties of turf grass that are developed. It's much more expansive than just for the golf industry. So we also this year we're just going there mostly to try to apply a little bit of pressure to be, part of the larger chorus of interested parties that would like to see a farm bill passed. It gets passed once every 5 years. It was supposed to get passed last year, renewed last year. It didn't. It's living on a 1-year extension, but we hope that it will get to the finish line this year, because not only is the language in the Farm Bill that supports turfgrass research and federal dollars towards turfgrass research, but there's also language in the Farm Bill that provides some good regulatory reforms for the industry. And so things like making sure that we support state pesticide preemption and federal labeling, pesticide labeling preemption, and providing dollars to support the USDA's Office of Pest Management Policy, which again helps support on a policy level many of the interests of the golf industry. So we're there just to help say, hey, the Farm Bill's important to golf. Here's why, and let's get this to the finish line.
Good, thank you. That's again, we're going to have a lot of training will come out, and so everyone, I'm looking forward to receiving that. Jay, another important event taking place while we're there in DC is our congressional reception. Do you want to give us an update, a little bit tell us about the reception and why is it there? Why is it important? And who's going to be here?
Yeah, so this year we actually have a couple of different speakers. We have Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina is going to come and talk to us. We have Senate Republican member of Congress from North Carolina, Richard Hudson, is going to join us, and he's the chair of the Golf Caucus, which is made up of all members of Congress who are interested in are impacted, their districts are impacted by the game of golf. as well as Representative Jimmy Panetta from California. He's going to speak to us as well, and he's the co-chair of the Congressional Golf Caucus. So those are the three sort of main congressional speakers. And then Steve Sands from the Golf Channel is going to come and sit down with our friend Greg McLaughlin from the World Golf Foundation and sort of just talk about, what's going on in the game of golf, both professionally and on the amateur level, and how that's impacting how we're relating to the game of golf from a congressional perspective. And why is the reception important? And it allows congressional staff to come and spend time with all of you who are so important to the game, promoting the game, and they can ask us questions about what's going on in the golf owners world or in the superintendent's world, and in more of a relaxed atmosphere rather than in their congressional office per se. So it's a good opportunity. I'm sure we're going to have 350, 400 people in that room who are going to have a beer or two and get to hear a little bit about the importance of golf economically and from all different aspects of what the industry means to America.
Yeah, obviously, Chava, and this is going to be held in the Dirksen Senate building. Is that correct?
Yes, Dirksen Senate 106.
And everyone would be bused back to the event and back to the hotels. All right, Chava, is that everything
Yeah.
set for the
Oh,
buses?
yeah. We definitely have bus transportation to all of the National Golf Day events. So whether
good.
it's to the congressional reception or lobby day or the service projects, we have transportation lined up for you.
Good. Well, speaking of the service project, Chava, tell us a little bit about what's going to be taking place on Friday.
Oh, wow, this is exciting. We're completely going in a different direction this year than the last few previous years. We're going to be setting up shop at 2 different locations, and we're going to send 50 individuals over to East Potomac Golf Course. And East Potomac Golf Course is one of the 3 public golf courses in Washington, D.C. that's under the umbrella of the National Links Trust. So the National Links Trust won a contract to help bring back and restore these 3 important public courses, and East Potomac's one of them. So we're partnering with Tim Zuribita, who's the head superintendent there, and the Eastern Shore GCSAA chapter and Toro, the Toro company, to aerate the entire red course in 3 hours, as well as repair the cart paths that are going around that course. So we're going to keep a lot of people busy, and looking forward to that. So we're in the planning stages of that. The second location is at the Old Soldiers Golf Course. This is the Armed Services Retirement Home. This is a 9-hole golf course that's just a little bit north of the city, about a 20-minute drive away from the hotel. And we have decided this year to partner with Casey Trees. Casey Trees is a nonprofit organization that's been around since 2001. And their mission has been to restore, enhance, and protect the cities of Washington's tree canopy. And they're very excited to partner with us. We came together and it was just a beautiful synergy. We're going to partner with Casey Trees over at Old Soldiers. We're going to bring about 150 people there to do a combination of different types of tree work. So whether it's putting up deer protection around trees or repairing deer protection that's already there, planting new trees, watering trees, bringing the wood chips back. People might remember all the wood chip projects we've done, but placing wood chips around trees. And we're also going to be bringing in John Deere, our long-standing partner for the service project, to completely mow and take care of the grounds, the tees, the fairways, the roughs around the entire property. So it's going to be a great time, and I think people will feel really special about having the ability to take care of a property that houses our nation's veterans and retired members of the U.S. military.
Well, that's good. That's going to be a busy. I think you have it scheduled for 4 hours. Is that right? Something like 3 to 4 hours.
3 hours, 7
3
to
hours.
10. So our buses out to Old Soldiers leave at 6:15 a.m. It's going to be an early morning, but at the hotel we'll have grab-and-go sandwiches and some drinks for you, and we'll have lunch provided and delivered out to the courses as well. And they'll wrap up at 10 o'clock and get the buses going back to the hotel, so people have time to make their flights, their afternoon flights.
Good.
I just want to jump in real quick here because it's so exciting to see you all coming to DC, which is my hometown. And some things you may not know about me is I grew up in the shadow of all these golf courses, and I was actually on the leadership team of the group that ran East Potomac before National Links Trust. I got into the game my first 7 years were in that game running those golf courses. So I see them. I have many stories. So we can do 6 seasons of TV and a full feature length motion picture based on 1 year of stuff that happened during those courses. So they hold a very special place in my heart. So it's so good to see that you're doing things there. My question though for you was for you, Chava, and for Jay. In that role, I remember the first National Golf Day. I attended the first few as a golf course operator, and remember those times where you had golf courses being compared to all the crazy businesses that are a part of that thing, from gun shops to brothels and whatever else. And I want you to take this opportunity to look back over the course of this is the 14th, I think, National Golf Day, and brag a little bit about where golf is now and how far it's come during that period of time. We'll start with you, Chava.
Well, in my role at GCSAA, I get to manage and work on a lot of environmental issues. And, I've been at GCSA for 28 years. And I can tell you, not only just as GCSA, the standalone association, but as American Golf Industry Coalition and all the golf associations, our presence, Michael, it's actually, I think, the 17th time we've been to National Golf Day, but who's counting? We just are getting more respect as an industry over time. And, when I first came on board at GCSAA, and to some extent, it still holds true to some extent, but we just have a bad image, and a bad perception about this industry. But we have so many incredible values, and we take pride in how philanthropic this industry is. We have a very strong environmental record, and we've taken a position that as an industry, we're not going to put our head in the sand and hope for the best. We are going to go in and we're going to talk about all the great values that this industry provides. And in my role, it's, mostly talking about the environmental values of golf. And so, whether it's members of Congress or the federal agencies like EPA and the USDA and the Fish and Wildlife that we talk to year round, I think they're getting it. I'm seeing that they're getting it and appreciating it, that, wow, golf is more than just the game. It provides a lot of value to green spaces, to communities around the country. So I think we're on the up and up. I don't know, Jay, how do you feel about it?
What?
Jay,
It's funny. I've only been involved in National Golf Day. This would be my third one. I would say the one thing that you're totally right, Hava. Just even in the 3 years that I've sort of been active in this, is you look at the Congressional Golf Caucus. Went from sort of non-existent to well over 150 members of Congress who are active in participating in the Golf Caucus, and that's a pretty significant number. There's 435 members of Congress, and 150 of them are taking the time to say, yeah, golf is really important to me. Golf is important to my district. I know that my constituents enjoy the game of golf, are healthier because of the game of golf, and I want to make sure that they know that I support the game of golf, from the recreational side, right? And the fact that you could just look at the last 6 to 7 years and the number of rounds played is jumped exponentially, which is great for the game of golf. And I think more people, more types of people from all different backgrounds are playing the game, and it's good. It's good for golf. That's no doubt.
Yeah, I can tell. Just this would be my ninth one, and the reception I think golf and we receive when we're up on the hill is totally different today than it was my first time. And I've heard stories from others like you, Hava, who've been there every year and they've seen the same thing change, the evolution. Obviously, this year, as we do every 2 to 4 years, we have a lot of new faces there at the Capitol. And so that's an opportunity for us to inform and educate those new members of Congress about who we are and what we provide to our country.
Mhm. Great.
So, Hava, Jay, anything that you'd like to leave with the group that perhaps I wasn't covered in my questions or our questions?
We plan to put up on the GCSAA website and distribute the link to the other golf organizations around the country, an action alert that is a National Golf Day action alert that provides some of the same messaging for those that will be on the Hill delivering in person. We welcome everyone to participate in National Golf Day one way or the other. Whether you're in Washington or not, you can go to the action alert and send a message to your elected officials talking about how important the game of golf is to you and your community. And so we would welcome everyone to somehow play a role in National Golf Day this year.
Yeah, we have invited all of our member courses to host some type of event. If they can't be there, to host an event to recognize National Golf Day on May 1st. So it falls on May Day. So hopefully we'll see that. And what we've asked them to do is share some pictures and videos of those. And we're going to put those up on our website so we can see all the different activities taking place across the country on National Golf Day. Jay, anything you'd like to add?
I think this is something I say for all different types of fly-ins, is that this really does matter. Coming to Washington, talking about what you do for a living, does play an impact on the ability to make change, both in legislation and in regulation. So if you have the opportunity, you should come to National Golf Day, because it really does help us who are here in Washington advocating for the industry. It really does make a difference. So please come if you can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we
No,
can't.
again, I'd like to say before I turn it back over to Mike, I'd like to say thank you, Hava, Jay, for giving of your time today and being a part of this show.
My pleasure.
Well, amen and amen to that. I would say thank you so much for all the work that you're doing for this National Golf Day. Thank you for all the work that you're going to do in the future. And we look forward to having you back on the show to tell about all the wonderful exploits that you have in protecting this game that we love. Thank you so much, Jay, Hava. Thank you so much. Ronnie, I think you can agree with me that those are two people who are out there working so hard for the game that we love to play. I'm just grateful to have people like that out there working for the game, and grateful to have people like you, as a matter of fact, working on the game. So we sort of skipped over in our beginning, in our opening. I just mentioned the Champion Circle. Before we go, I wanted you to give a little bit more information about the NGCOA Champion Circle, what it does, and how people can get involved in it.
Well, thanks. Yeah, the Champion Circle was started last year. It was Jay's idea of prior to the creation of Champion Circle, if we had an issue come up where we needed a golf course needed assistance with the legal battles, it was one of those situations where we had to go out and solicit donations from different people who could help the cause to help that golf course with their legal issue. And with the creation of the Champion Circle, what we're able to do is this fund comes in not only to allow our advocacy efforts with NGCOA to expand and to grow, but also we create a legal fund so that when we have issues like Cazenovia Golf Course, the lawsuit they have, and we need to act quickly, we have the funds available now. So we don't have to go out and ask for more funds. We can handle those requests as they come in. If there are issues that's going to impact our industry, that's where we want to engage and be a part of that. So the legal fund that we have established makes a huge difference and enables us to make sure that we're reactionary, helping these golf courses when they're in need. So yeah, it's been great. We've had great participation. If people are interested in learning more about the Champion Circle or like to join our website, go to the advocacy page on the website. You'll see the Champion Circle landing page there. Click on that to learn more about it, and also an opportunity there if you want to give online or if you need to be invoiced, we can reach back and work with you. So there's always an easy way to become a part of the Champion Circle.
That was so you, Ronnie. That was equal parts passion and practical. I love it. That is classic Ronnie Miles. But again, such a great event that's coming up. I hope to see everybody who's on here there. But that's about all the time we have. So I want to say thank you to our guests. I want to say thank you to everyone for watching. And on behalf of our co-host Ronnie Miles and Michael Williams saying goodbye for this issue of Golf Business Advocacy Angle, powered by the NGCOA Champion Circle. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Michael.